In today's video, we are looking at Far Cry 6 using FSR in the different quality settings. So first of all, let's jump in. What we're going to do is a 1080p low settings benchmark, first of all. Okay, let's go to monitor. We're at 1080p full screen here. Let's go to quality. All the settings are at low, and then we go over to advanced settings, and as you can see, the FSR is currently off. So we're going to do a test with it off first. We'll run the benchmark, the in-game benchmark, and we'll see like a base level, and then we'll see if we can get it a little bit higher with the frame rate to boost us up using the AMD FSR technology. So hopefully you'll be able to see the different technology here and how it can help boost those frame rates up. I'm just going to do that benchmark now, and then we'll get back to you after that. So there we go. The benchmark has just ended now. Let's see what results we had. So 1080p, as I said, low. We have a maximum of 85, an average of 75, and a minimum FPS of 42. So a good baseline there at 1080p low. Let's see maybe if we can boost things up a little bit. We'll go into the FSR and we'll probably go with like performance mode. So here we are at the advanced settings. Let's turn the FSR on, and we'll go with performance mode to see if we can get the most performance out of it as we can, and see what sort of difference we get. Obviously expecting a lot better results than we just had there, but we'll see. So if I didn't say before, we're using the RX 580 4GB version with a 1600 AF, and we're running 16GB of RAM at 3000 MHz. Now that the benchmark has finished, let's see what our results were. With running FSR at the performance settings at 1080p low, our maximum FPS has gone up by quite a bit, 111 now. Average FPS 85, and the minimum still kind of where it was before at 42. So we are getting quite a few drops, but it's partly to do again with our graphics cards there. I mean, the RX 580 is still a respectable graphics card, but you can see that the 4GB of RAM is really, 4GB of VRAM is really kind of the absolute minimum that you need nowadays, and it would have been better if you know, if you have an 8GB card, then that's really what you need nowadays. But overall, I would say that's pretty decent result, really. You know, even with quite an older graphics card there, you're still getting a good result. But what we'll do is we'll go, I'd say we'll go with balance now, and then we'll go with quality, and then we'll probably see if we can get maybe medium settings, but I'm not really too hopeful for medium settings. So let's run this benchmark now, and I'll report back. So there we go. The FSR balance setting has completed now at 1080p low. We have maximum of 113 FPS, average of 85, and our minimum is still quite low at 41, but perfectly fine. Quite a good result compared to what we had at 1080p low without any FSR on. So yeah, overall that's quite a good result. Let's go one more now, and we'll push for quality. So we're going to run the FSR at quality settings, 1080p low. Let's give it a go. I'll report back again. So there we go. The 1080p low quality settings for FSR have now finished, and we have a maximum FPS of 107, average of 84, and again the minimum is 43 FPS there. So not a lot of differences there. What we're going to do is we're going to put it into 1080p medium now, and then we'll just see. This is going to be without FSR. This is going to be without FSR, so we'll turn that off, and then we'll go back to quality, and we'll try medium if it will let us do it. Okay, it does say about we're over the VRAM limit, but it should run fine. Let's test our benchmark to see what we can do at 1080p medium. I'll report back again. So our 1080p medium benchmark is just finishing up now. It keeps coming up with this low VRAM, obviously, because we're exceeding the VRAM limit, unfortunately, because we only got 4GB, as I said, of VRAM. But overall, let's see what the results are. The maximum FPS 71, average of 64, and the minimum is 36. So we have knocked down a little bit there. We'll see if we can run FSR again and see what sort of changes that makes. So we'll have that on, and again we'll go with performance mode, I think. Let's see what that does. So the 1080p medium settings with FSR performance mode has just completed now, the benchmark, and we have a maximum FPS of 101, an average of 78, and a minimum of 38. So a little bit of an improvement of what we had. I'll do one more at the balance setting and then we'll probably leave it there. So here we go, balance settings, 1080p medium. Let's report back in a bit. So the 1080p medium FSR performance, balance mode has just finished now, and so the maximum FPS was 105, average of 78, and the minimum of 38. So again, not a lot of change there, but as we can see, FSR is having a bit of an impact and is helping us out here with a little bit of an older graphics cards and just giving us that little bit of extra boost. Now running at 1080p medium is like really sort of like on the cusp of going over the VRAM limit, so I probably would just go 1080p low, and you could either put FSR on if you just want that little bit of a boost, or even I think 1080p low without FSR would be perfectly fine. For Far Cry 6, this 580 is just about sort of keeping in there, but it's sort of time where modern games now unfortunately are kind of really pushing it now, and I think we'll see the 580 probably in a year's time with more modern titles that come out, probably getting towards older GPUs that just can't quite hack it anymore. But it's still, for 1080p card, it's still perfectly fine. But again, a lot of people obviously can't get a graphics card currently, and if you can't, then the RX 580 is still a really good graphics card and still more than capable. But I would really try and look to get an 8GB VRAM card now. You could even get the RX 580 in 8GB, and that probably would help out a lot. It's just the 4GB VRAM is really pushing it now, and if you've got any card, especially if you've got like a 3GB VRAM one like the GTX 1060, you're really going to be pushing what you can do now, and that card's almost redundant now. Unfortunately, it's kind of just not good enough. You need at least, well, I think now if you're buying a new, you can't buy a new graphics card, but if you're buying any graphics card now, you want to get at least 6GB of VRAM. So you want something like a GTX 1660 or the 1060 6GB version. That was a bit of a mouthful. But yeah, unfortunately, we're kind of getting towards the end of the 4GB VRAM cards at the moment. So it is what it is. But, overall, it's still capable. It's still okay. And, if you have no other option, then a 4GB VRAM card is still perfectly fine. And even if your card is like 4 or 5 years old now, you can still play the modern AAA titles currently. Although, like I say, it is starting to get a little bit towards end of life now. But we are where we are with graphics cards now, and it's just an unfortunate time. But hopefully, you guys can pick up something. Let me know what you do have below. I would like to know what you've got. I mean, are you one of the lucky people who've maybe got the 6GB of VRAM, or even 8GB of VRAM, or even more? I mean, if you've got something like the 1080 Ti and you're with like 11GB, I think that is, then you're laughing really. So, and if you've got like a 12GB card, then yeah, you're in a good position as well. Yeah, let me know below what you thought of this video. It's just a little bit of a different video I just wanted to put together for you guys. And I hope you liked it, and I will see you in the next one. Bye guys.